we'll start it off with the world champion Max Verstappen and Team Red Bull.
Yeah, the new livery. We're just taking a look at it right now.
It hasn't really changed much.
It hasn't.
I don't think.
And I think
they were the least. Me being a Red Bull fan, they were the least team that stepped out to kind of go out of their way and change it. You know what I mean?
I think in their case, it's like don't change what isn't broken.
That's true.
Because they have one of the best liveries, I think, going right now.
It's a staple.
It is.
It is.
Like when you have when you're associated with a product and a brand like Red Bull already is.
Yes.
You can't differentiate too far from the brand. Like you can't step out with like a pink livery when your Red Bull is like sponsored by Red Bull.
Well, when they did the white in Japan, that was pretty.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah, I like that. I'm all for that.
It was like almost like a contrast effect. Like,
yeah, it looked like a Zero from World War II airplane.
Yeah,
like a Japanese Zero.
Yeah, then that's just like paying homage to obviously Honda.
Yep, huge,
being their powertrain supplier for the last couple of seasons.
And they won that race too.
Yes, they did,
which is awesome. Winning their home race for their home supplier.
So with the Red Bull car, yeah, not much different from their 2022 livery, or sorry, 2021 livery. And as far as the actual Red Bull team going, like we said, this is their first year without Honda powertrain.
Yeah, Red Bull powertrains.
Red Bull's creating their own power unit. I believe that they're still taking some people from Honda and like having them help them like develop as we go along.
Yes.
But one of the new regulations that came into play for this season, we'll touch on regulations too, like as we talk about the podcast a little bit, because there were so many changes, obviously, with like, you know, putting the financial cap on the spendings for this season.
Yep.
Different tire wear and different tire like
zero
choices.
Engine development throughout the season.
So that's what I was gonna say. So with Red Bull and with all other teams now, you kind of have to like limit your powertrain development. One, because of financial costs.
Yes.
And two, because in a couple of years, the goal is to go fully
carbon neutral,
sustainable power.
They want to be sustainable, right?
So I don't mind that, because I think the whole point is so that, you know, teams like Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari don't go crazy with like spending.
Yes.
And they don't separate so far from the pack where there's a huge disconnect, because obviously the money talks. You know,
100%. That's all F1 is. It's a money
Mercedes
sport.
And a team like Williams are very different on the scale.
For sure.
So with 2026 coming in the having fully sustainable engines, they just want to stunt their growth from now until then, which kind of makes sense, because like, okay, you won't put money into it.
Nope.
You'll do what you can.
Yes.
Like obviously you're going to develop some stuff here and there. But as far as like money goes and just like development wise, you can't really do much. But I think that's going to make, you know, I think that's part of like the new FIA regulation to just kind of make it a more even playing field. And I don't mind that.
Yeah. I was reading somewhere, actually, I think it was Planet F1. And they were talking about Porsche and Red Bull talking about engine development.
Oh, okay.
Which I know Porsche is big into like electrical engines and EVs and all that stuff, right? So if Formula One is actually trending that way to eventually have, you know, electric car or electric engines, then that would be huge for Porsche to get their name in there, especially for the electric car division, right? And most car companies, what they're going to do is they're going to go off of Formula One. You know what I mean? Like your Mercedes AMG, those engines, a lot of it's based off of the Mercedes power unit for their cars.
Right.
So, I mean, if a lot of these if all the Formula One cars are going to go EV, then, you know, I would expect a lot of other companies to just start developing a lot of electric vehicles.
And in the case with trying to become more electric, they do have that, the Formula E series.
They do, yes.
Which they're like glorified RC cars.
I know,
which is kind of hilarious. Like it's cool, obviously. Like the threat, obviously, of, you know, engine failure isn't there.
Yes.
It's more safe, I guess. And that's what the FIA is always trying to push, is safety. And you know, do what they can to protect the drivers, which makes sense. No one can, you know, separate themselves from that take. Like I think that's all standardized. Like, okay, be as safe as possible. You're racing cars.
Well, yeah, you can't
300
advertise
kilometers an hour.
We're gonna make the cars as fast and as dangerous as possible.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's not Mad Max out there.
Yes, exactly.
But with the
maybe he is Mad Max.
Mad Max. Well, he used to be Mad Max.
He used to be Mad Max. Yeah.
He's matured a lot. So just coming full circle to Red Bull.
Yeah, exactly.
Verstappen coming off, you know, being the 2021 champion.
Yes, staying on the Verstappen topic. I don't want to talk really about what happened last season.
No,
because it's done. now we're moving into a new season, new cars. You know what I mean? Hopefully that last year doesn't keep playing into what happened this year. Or sorry, hopefully last year doesn't keep playing into this. You know what I mean? Like going into like, you know, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen. Is it going to be a rivalry between the two? No, I want to see a rivalry between Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, and Mercedes. That'd be great. Imagine you had 4 teams battling for the world championship. Alex Albon, he's in there too. Welcome back to Formula One.
Yep.
I'm happy that he's getting another chance because
he's class. Man.
I think there was a lot of things at Red Bull that happened to him. Like obviously, he got took out of 2 races when he was in the lead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't know. Christian Horner would say it's because he's not aggressive enough, and he's not like you can't compare people to Max Verstappen. You know what I mean? It's completely different driving styles. His driving style now is really unorthodox.
Yeah, they do say that being Verstappen's teammate is like one of the hardest jobs basically in all sports because he's always going to get that little extra boost from management, that extra boost from the team to be the number 1 driver. And I mean, Sergio Perez coming off, I mean, just a crazy standout season with Racing Point and then going to Red Bull last year. He had a lot of momentum with him.
Yeah.
And I mean, unfortunately, we've seen it time and time again when someone comes into a new team and their first couple of races, they don't go as planned. Yeah. Like Ricciardo had a slow start in McLaren. Perez, obviously, Vettel even last year, and Stroll, I mean, granted that they were the whole new team completely, but it's just it's always hard to like break in and like make a team your own. And for Perez to come into Red Bull, especially, there's no way Max is going to like relinquish the number 1 job and the number 1 spot.
No.
So he kind of already had like a disadvantage going to Red Bull.
I agree, yeah. But and it also helps in Checo's for his sake because he's a veteran of the sport.
Right.
He wasn't, and Red Bull doesn't necessarily always go after like a veteran guy. They're usually looking for the young gun guy that they can sign for years to come. And when they're looking for like a kind of a diamond in the rough, you know, they found Max, but they can't just keep searching for like these young guys. They need something that they can rely on and know that they can have for the long haul with experience, someone that's going to be capable of driving that car.
And Perez is obviously like up there in age a little bit more. Like he's one of the actually senior drivers now in the field.
Yeah.
So he has that maturity though with him where he's not going to be like a little bitch about it and be like, if he's not getting, because he knows this is Max's team. Like he knew that coming in there last year.
For sure.
He was leaving Racing Point. We all knew that because they were transitioning to Aston Martin and Stroll was going to leave and Vettel was going to sign. We already knew that coming into last year.
Yeah.
So he was out of a job. Yeah. And for him to show up the way he did and put the performance in the last couple of races that he did, I think kind of guaranteed his spot at Red Bull. And like I said, he knew going in there, he's not going to take over the reins of Verstappen.
No.
This isn't going to be his team, but he's still going to have the best car and the best capabilities he's ever given. And he's going to, I mean, I think Red Bull's eyes were like, this is what they're seeing as like a Constructors' Championship last year.
Yeah. And also, when they signed him the year before, he came off a great season with Racing Point. And that was the whole thing. It's like, oh, where's Checo going to go? He doesn't have anyone sign him. And then Red Bull came in at the 19th hour.
Yeah, solidified that for him.